Okay, well, I think in the short term there's a number of low carbon technologies that we know already work quite effectively that we should be deploying at larger scale over the next few years, and that will go some way to reducing our emissions globally. So in all countries there are solar cells that can generate electricity, or wind that can generate low carbon electricity. So I think we can be doing that in the near term, but at the same time we need to be doing research and development for new technologies that will help us deliver more efficient low carbon technologies over the 2020s. And so if we can put the research in now, then they'll be ready in the future. I think over the longer term it comes down to integrating different technologies and different sectors, especially from electricity, from the transport sector, from industry, and I think that's where the real challenge is when we get towards the end of the 2020s and 2030s. It's about bringing all the different elements of the energy system together. So maybe first of all, just to say that there's a wide range of different energy storage technologies that are available that allow us to store energy over different timescales and to respond to the need for energy at different timescales as well, from a second out to months or even a year. So there's a wide range. It's a family of technologies really that's possible. Most popular at the moment are batteries, which can be deployed. At the University of Birmingham, we're looking at a new energy storage technology called liquid air energy storage, and this uses off-peak electricity to cool down the air and bring it down to cryogenic temperatures at -200 degrees. So the air turns into a liquid, and we store that liquid until we want the electricity back. And when we do, we pressurize it. It comes back up to room temperature into a gas, expands, turns a turbine and generates electricity. So that's a very good type of storage technology that can store large quantities of energy at a relatively low cost compared to batteries, which are good at storing smaller amounts of energy for shorter periods of time. Well, I think it's about understanding what we want to deliver for the energy system. Different energy system needs will require different sorts of technologies to meet those needs. So I think there'll be a wide range of technologies that are required, and it's understanding to what scale we need those different technologies on the energy system, and where we might put them and how we might operate them, but also the different types of policies and markets that go along with the energy system that will be required as well to commercialise them. At the moment, batteries can be commercialised on electricity systems already in some cases, but if we're looking out to the 2020s, where we might have large amounts of renewables from solar, from wind, there'll be different requirements for shifting energy across maybe a few hours and much larger quantities. And in that case, we might need different sorts of technologies, and we need the policies and market incentives to go along with them to enable them to be commercialised. So, I mean, the two key renewable technologies are probably solar PV and wind, and in both cases globally the prices for generating electricity from those has come down very rapidly because there's been a large scale up in manufacturing especially, and understanding about how they can be developed. So I think that they can be deployed at scale, but the challenge is understanding what impacts they will have on the wider energy system, because they're both variable. Obviously, solar produces energy or electricity when it's sunny, and the wind power when it's windy. And both of those need to be managed to have a beneficial impact on the wider system, and that's why energy storage can play a crucial role in enabling the wide-scale deployment of renewables. It can shift the energy from when it's being generated to when it's being needed. But that also creates challenges for the markets and the policies that encompass the energy sector as well. So it's a case of developing the technologies, but also the policies and markets alongside those. So the project that we're working on at the moment is looking at a rural community in Mexico, where we're trying to understand the needs of people in that community for energy and how that might be provided from whatever source, but potentially using energy storage as a way of lowering the cost, but providing other social benefits to the community, whether that's providing better water supplies, heating or cooling at different times. So it's understanding that the needs of the people, the technologies that might meet those needs, and then how do we begin to integrate that as a system. And potentially we can see that, so we're looking at a village at the moment, but hopefully that will give us some good lessons so that in the future we can test different technologies in that environment and then go out and deploy it at a larger scale in Mexico, but potentially in other countries around the world. So working with colleagues here at ENEL, if we can develop that sort of expertise, then there's a big opportunity for all of us to have a wider impact. Well, we've had a great project start so far. So the project has been running since earlier this year. We've had some very good exchanges. I've been over a couple of times, and I think by bringing together the different skills and expertise that we have, I think we can develop a much bigger impact than if we were just working together. It's understanding the needs of the people in a particular context that's critical. But from the UK, we also have some expertise in developing these new energy storage technologies and the integration and the policies that go alongside that. So I think we can both learn a lot from each other, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the project.